Hi everyone. Before we begin, we're going to do a hand warm-up to get those muscles ready for writing. Choose a hand and bring your thumb towards your pointer finger and release. And then move on to your next finger and release. Ring finger and release. Pinky and release. And do that a couple of times. In between each touch, see if you can stretch your fingers out really wide. And if you're feeling clever, you can go back the other way. See how quickly you can do it. And don't forget to try on the other side. Once you're done, you're going to need to make sure that you are sitting at your table, you have a sharp pencil, and your book is ready. Our learning intention today is to efficiently write a lowercase a and d. Efficiently means to be able to do something quickly and easily. You will know you've been successful today if at the end of your handwriting time you have some neat anti-clockwise letters which use the lines to stay a consistent size. Let's begin with a pattern that helps us to understand anti-clockwise. I'm going to start in between the two dotted lines at the top of my page, and I'm going to circle around in the opposite direction to the way the clock hands would go. Here I'm going to try again. So I'm starting in the middle. My pencil is moving to the left as I go around and around in a spiral. I'm going to do a whole row of anti-clockwise spirals. If you're finding it a little bit tricky, you can make yours a bit bigger. And if you're finding it quite simple, you might try and make it really small to begin with. Have a go. Remember to press pause on the video when you're having a turn at your writing. Now this is a watch and listen page, so you don't need to be writing anything yet. We're just going to have a talk about the way the letter A shape is made. So the letter A begins at the top, goes around in an oval shape and back up to the beginning before your pencil tracks back down to make the stick on the other side. Let's watch that again. Around, up and down. Around, up and down. Something that's a little bit important that you want to be looking out for in your letter A is that there's this little area here, this little wedge shape. Yeah, we don't want our letter A to be so round that there's no wedge shape there. Now, the very best letter A shapes take a little bit of practice because they almost come to a bit of a point here. So it's not a round oval shape, it's a little bit pointy and a little sloped. Ah, that one's quite nice there. If you're in year 3 or above and joining in on this video, you will be able to add on an exit flick as well. So you will take your letter A around, up and down, and finish with a flick. Around, up and down, finish with a flick. That shape there is particularly nice. I think that's my best one so far. Now I'm going to move down to the next line on my page and I'm going to practice a whole row of letter A's. You can leave the video running while you join in and try a row as well. Pause it if you need more time. Next, we'll have a look at the second part of our success criteria, which was to be able to use the lines to maintain a consistent sized letter. Consistent means that something is always the same. So if you look at my letter A's, they always start touching that top dotted line and they always finish on the bottom dotted line every single time. Take a moment to have a look at your letter A's and look and see, are they always the same size? Or are some of them medium-sized and some bigger and some smaller? It's okay if they're all bigger or they're all smaller, but we do want them to be consistent. Let's do one more row of letter A's where we concentrate on being consistent. Now it's time for us to move on to the letter D, and I'm sure you've already worked out how that's going to happen. Let's have a look. I'm starting again at that top dotted line, and just the same as my letter A, I'm going around. This time I'm going to stretch right up to the solid line at the top before I come back down. Let's watch that again. Around, stretch up and down. Around, stretch up and down. Pause the video if you need and keep going yourself to do a whole row of the letter D. Once you've gotten to the end of your row, I want you to grab a different coloured pencil. I'm going to choose green today, and I'm just going to have a look over all of my letter A's and my letter D's and just do a little tiny tick above, oh there we go, using blue, and have a look for the ones which I think have the best shape and the best size and are my favourites for today. Good, go and do the same for yours. That's probably all you have time for today, so thanks for watching. If you've still got a little bit of time left for your handwriting session, there might be a sneaky letter A picture waiting for you next. Welcome to our sneaky add-on at the end. We're going to turn our letter A into a cat. Now you might want to make this letter A a little bit bigger than some of the others. There's mine. Now my cat is going to need a neck and a head, 2 pointy ears, some whiskers, 2 eyes, a little mouth, and don't forget a wiggly tail. Remember, as always, if you're not happy with something, like my cat's wiggly tail, you can always go back and try again. See you next time!